GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Vivian Castellanos. Tonight we'll unpack the historic Bronx chokehold trial of Officer Omar Habib, a heat wave forecast with thunderstorms from AccuWeather, and the city's crackdown on illegal e-bike sellers. Traffic's moving with minor delays across the boroughs. Over to you, Andre.
ThriftCon returns to New York City this Saturday at the Javits Center, featuring over 150 vendors showcasing vintage clothing, accessories, and home decor.
Admission is free for children under 12, while adults purchase tickets online for $20, with a discount for students presenting a valid ID.
The event includes a scheduled panel on sustainable fashion at 2 o'clock, featuring local designers discussing upcycling techniques and circular wardrobe practices.
We've got a lively evening ahead, plenty of stories to explore, so stay tuned, lots to get to, and now let's begin. Here are our top stories. NYPD officer Omar Habib faces the first prosecution for a chokehold since the city banned the practice in 2020. The trial began today in a Bronx courtroom. Priya Raghunathan has the full story.
Inside the Bronx courtroom, a jury hears the city's first case under the 2020 ban on police chokeholds. Officer Omar Habib, a veteran of the NYPD's 30th precinct, faces charges for applying the prohibited hold during a 2023 traffic stop that left a suspect gasping for air. Prosecutors say the officer ignored clear department guidance and continued the maneuver despite the suspect's pleas. Defense counsel argues the force was necessary to subdue a non-compliant individual, pointing to video that shows a brief struggle. The judge reminded everyone that the law was enacted to prevent exactly this type of escalation. Verdict expected next week, setting a precedent for future disciplinary actions. Priya Raghunathan, GMNA News, Bronx.
Mayor Zoran Mamdani announced today that the city will launch a legal crackdown on retailers selling illegal e-bikes. The initiative follows the death of a teenager who was killed while riding an unapproved e-bike, adding urgency to a growing safety debate. City officials said they will file lawsuits and seek injunctions within 1 week to force closures of stores that market the devices without proper licensing. The mayor stressed that illegal e-bikes have been linked to multiple accidents and recent fatalities across the 5 boroughs, and that swift action is needed to protect riders and pedestrians. The administration will coordinate with the NYPD and the Department of Consumer Affairs to identify violators and pursue enforcement through the courts. The plan is set to roll out immediately, with the first legal filings expected by the end of the week.
AccuWeather has issued a citywide alert as a humid heat wave rolls through New York, bringing dangerous temperatures and a chance of afternoon thunderstorms. The pattern began this morning and is set to persist through Sunday, with humidity levels climbing sharply across all 5 boroughs. Residents can expect sweltering afternoons, especially in Midtown and the outer boroughs, where the heat index may push well into the 90s. The storm threat rises after the peak heat, bringing brief but intense downpours that could lead to flash flooding in low-lying areas such as the East River waterfront and parts of the Bronx. Officials from the Department of Environmental Protection are monitoring conditions and stand ready to issue further guidance. The forecast underscores the city's ongoing challenge of coping with rising heat and moisture as summer peaks.
New York Cares hosted a Swiftie-themed back-to-school volunteer day on July 31, 2026, honoring a $26 million donation from Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce made ahead of their July 3rd wedding. Priya Raghunathan has the full story.
Volunteers swarmed the downtown community center this afternoon, sorting school supplies, assembling backpacks and painting classroom doors in bright, Swift-inspired colors. The day, organized by New York Cares, carries a Swiftie theme after pop star Taylor Swift and NFL tight end Travis Kelce pledged a $26 million gift ahead of their July 3rd wedding. Both Swift and Kelce made brief appearances, handing out signed bookmarks and encouraging kids to chase their dreams. Organizers said the donation will fund school-ready kits for thousands of students across the city, The back-to-school drive runs through the weekend, with dozens of volunteers joining the effort to ready neighborhoods for the new academic year. Priya Raghunathan, GMNA News, Manhattan.
Saturday's ThriftCon Vintage Convention rolled into Brooklyn's Storehouse, bringing more than 150 vendors to the space. Shoppers wandered aisles of men's and women's retro apparel, from 1970s denim jackets to 1990s cocktail dresses, while independent sellers showcased everything from classic band tees to hand-stitched accessories. Organizers highlighted the event's return to New York after a 2-year pause, noting the surge of interest from borough-wide collectors and tourists alike. The bustling atmosphere turned the industrial venue into a lively marketplace, with live DJ sets and pop-up styling stations adding a festive backdrop. Attendance figures weren't released, but the sheer volume of stalls underscored the growing appetite for sustainable fashion in the city. ThriftCon's comeback marks another chapter for Brooklyn's growing reputation as a hub for niche retail experiences locally recently. Later open primary advocates are filing a lawsuit after the city rejected their petitions, raising questions about voter access. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. United NY has filed a lawsuit today challenging the city's decision to reject its petitions for an open primary ballot measure. The group argues the dismissal violates the city's own signature requirements and seeks a court order forcing officials to place the initiative on the upcoming ballot. City officials maintain the petitions fell short of the threshold needed to qualify, but United NY says the signatures were valid and that voters deserve a chance to decide on a statewide open primary system. The case will be heard in New York City Superior Court next month, and a ruling could determine whether New Yorkers see an open primary option on the ballot this election cycle. Legal experts note the outcome may set precedent for how petition challenges are handled across the 5 boroughs. City attorneys plan to file a brief defending the rejection before the court hears arguments.
More than 300 public defense attorneys in the Bronx have been on strike for 9 days, halting court proceedings and leaving indigent clients without representation. Marisol Furrer has the full story.
More than 300 public defense attorneys and support staff have been walking out for 9 days, bringing Bronx courts to a standstill. With the strike now in its 9th day, arraignments, bail hearings, and many criminal cases are being delayed or postponed as judges scramble to reassign work. The union representing the defenders says court officials have yet to meet their demands for better staffing levels, overtime pay, and safer working conditions. As a result, indigent defendants risk longer detention times while lawyers negotiate new contracts. Court clerks report a backlog of files piling up, and some precincts are rerouting cases to neighboring districts. The city's legal aid network remains strained, and families awaiting representation are left in uncertainty. Marisol Furrer, GMNA News, Mott Haven.
The Bronx is seeing its first-time foreclosure filings for single and two-family homes. Co-ops and condos surged to nearly twice last year's level, data from Property Shark showed this morning. While citywide foreclosure filings have continued to decline for several months, the borough's numbers have risen sharply, reflecting worsening economic conditions locally. Analysts note that the spike comes despite broader market cooling, and that many residents are feeling the strain of rising rents and limited job opportunities. The increase affects both homeowners and renters who may face displacement if owners lose their properties. The borough, already grappling with higher poverty rates and unemployment than the city average, now faces a foreclosure wave that could exacerbate housing instability for thousands of families. City officials have not yet announced targeted relief measures, but the trend underscores the growing financial pressure on Bronx families as the city's overall foreclosure picture improves.
The Department of Sanitation has revived a green sticker program aimed at curbing alternate side parking violations during street cleaning shifts. Starting this afternoon, crews will attach bright green stickers to the windows of any vehicle that remains parked after the posted cleaning time expires. The visible marker serves as a warning and a record that the driver failed to move, reinforcing the city's long-standing effort to keep the streets clear for sweeper trucks. Officials say the stickers are intended to deter repeat offenders and make enforcement more efficient, especially in busy corridors where missed sweeps can quickly lead to clogged gutters and increased flooding risk. Motorists who receive a sticker are expected to address the violation promptly, and the department will continue to monitor compliance citywide. The bright hue ensures the tag is unmistakable, even on dark-tinted windows.
An elementary student at the Bronx School for Continuous Learners was hospitalized after lead poisoning linked to delayed paint inspections in its special education classrooms, a program with historically lower inspection rates. Raphael Brannigan has the full story.
An 8-year-old student at the Bronx School for Continuous Learners was rushed to hospital after showing symptoms of lead poisoning, officials said. The child's exposure is linked to a delay in required lead paint inspections inside the school's special education classrooms, inspections that the New York City Department of Education had postponed. Data from a recent Gothamist analysis shows that classrooms serving students with disabilities receive fewer of these safety checks than general education rooms, even though the risk of lead exposure is higher. Parents and advocates have long warned that the lower inspection rate puts vulnerable children at danger, and the department now faces pressure to accelerate the overdue testing. Raphael Brannigan, GMNA News, Bronx.
Now let's turn to our meteorologist for a quick look at tonight's forecast.
A high-pressure ridge anchors the northeast, while a southwest jet stream fuels lingering showers across the metro. On this date, the city scorched to 93 degrees in 2016, a record set during an entrenched heat wave that pushed daily highs into the low 90s for a week straight. Conversely, the coldest temperature recorded was 52 degrees in 2013, when an Arctic front slipped southward, blanketing the region in an unseasonal freeze that drove lows well below the August norm. The climatological average for today hovers around 84 degrees high and 68 degrees low, underscoring how the recent extremes sit well outside typical expectations. The radar now shows a band of moderate rain sweeping from the west, centered over the Hudson Valley and advancing eastward across the city. The heaviest echoes were strongest at 4 p.m., and the system is being steered by the southwest jet at 33 miles per hour, pushing it toward Long Island. By 7 p.m., the rain should have cleared the core of the 5 boroughs, leaving only lingering drizzle along the coastal fringe before the sky dries out completely. With the radar pattern fading, I turn to tonight's outlook. At 6 p.m., the city sits under an overcast canopy with a temperature of 77 degrees and a humidity near 89%. A steady high-pressure field dominates, keeping the air mass stable and preventing any new fronts from intruding. The southwest jet aloft, moving at 33 miles per hour, continues to shear the lingering moisture eastward, ensuring that no additional precipitation will develop after the current showers exit. Winds are light, 9 miles per hour from the southeast, gusting to a modest 11 miles per hour later this evening. The UV index registers 7, and the maximum wind remains modest. No weather alerts are active, and the overnight low will settle around 72 degrees. With the sky set to clear after the brief shower, we now look ahead to the next 5 days. Thursday will break into clear skies with a high of 90 degrees and a low of 73 degrees, offering a classic late summer warmth. Friday brings a return of cloud cover and a 35% chance of rain, though temperatures will stay near 88 degrees high and 73 degrees low. Saturday remains mostly clear, but retains a 25% rain probability, with highs again at 88 degrees and lows holding at 73 degrees. Sunday promises a bright, clear day and a high of 90 degrees, while the low dips to 72 degrees. Monday will be partly cloudy, holding a high of 88 degrees and a low of 72 degrees, rounding out a week of modest temperature swings and occasional moisture chances. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic shows minor delays, the Chamber Spotlight features an Australian Pilates chain, and the Giants put Roy Robertson Harris on IR. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Moderate lane closures on the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway from the Brooklyn Bridge to Columbia Heights are slowing traffic. Expect backups near the 23rd Street exit and add about 10 minutes. The Lincoln Tunnel Expressway stays closed overnight, sending trucks onto Midtown West Streets and the Henry Hudson Parkway. Drivers should expect heavier flow near the 79th Street ramp. In Queens, one lane remains open on the Metropolitan Avenue Bridge over Newtown Creek, so traffic on Metropolitan Avenue moves slower. Bronx Express trains run as local this morning, adding a few stops on the 4, 5, and 6 lines. The G train is suspended between Livonia Avenue and Canarsie Rockaway Parkway, so riders must transfer to the L at Bedford Nostrand. The MTA also adjusted schedules on several lines from 9:45 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Wednesday through Friday, shaving a few minutes off headways.
Tonight, Madison Square Garden hosts a one-night-only benefit comedy marathon featuring Jon Stewart, Nikki Glaser, Dave Chappelle, and more. It's a rare chance to laugh for a cause, supporting 9/11 charities, and tickets are on sale right now. Looking ahead to the weekend, Prospect Park will transform into a massive free Aaliyah tribute, with live music, DJs, films, and fashion celebrating the Brooklyn-born R&B legend. Fans of the era can soak up the vibe without spending a dime. Also this weekend, cardholders can wander through 9 of the city's flagship museums, including the Met, MoMA, and the Intrepid, without paying admission. It's a perfect excuse to finally check off those bucket list exhibitions. Finally, Union Square's Time Out Market just unveiled a vibrant new mural by Bianca Romero, turning the terrace into a love letter to the neighborhood. It's a quick, free photo op that captures the city's creative pulse. And now here's Desmond with sports.
Midsummer buzz hits New York as the Giants, Yankees, and Knicks dominate headlines. Cubs president Jade Hoyer fielded questions ahead of the August 3rd showdown with the Dodgers, signaling the club's post-deadline strategy in a tight NL Central race. With Chicago eyeing a push for the wild card, fans should watch how the bullpen depth and mid-season moves shape the next stretch. Giants slot defensive tackle Roy Robertson Harris onto injured reserve, opening a spot on the interior line just as the team seeks to solidify its pass rush. The move, paired with the waiver of wideout Bo Collins, forces head coach to lean on younger linemen and explore free agent options before the season opener. At the Greenbrier Sports Performance Center, the Giants held practice 7 with fans watching, and all eyes were on Odell Beckham as he ran routes and took snaps. Coach Harbaugh's chase perfection mantra puts Beckham's chemistry with the quarterback under the microscope heading into preseason. With training camps in full swing, the AFC segment tracks former Jet Quincy Williams thriving on the Browns' linebacker core. His progress offers a barometer for how ex-Jet talent adapts to new schemes, and could hint at future roster moves for New York. The latest rivalry roundup shows the Rays weathering a Rockies rally, a reminder that New York's AL East foes are sharpening ahead of the Yankees' next series. As the Rays claw back, Yankees fans should note the bullpen's late-inning resilience, a factor that could influence the upcoming matchup. The pop quiz piece asks fans to imagine a Knicks defeat in the finals, sparking debate on how a loss would reshape the franchise's roster moves and market perception. It forces us to weigh the impact on star contracts, coaching stability, and future draft positioning.
Australian Pilates is planting its first New York City studio on the corner of West 5th Avenue and 23rd Street in Manhattan, marking the launch of a broader United States rollout. The boutique chain, known for its precision-focused workouts, offers small group classes that blend classic reformer techniques with an Australian flair. By bringing a community-driven fitness model to the Upper West Side, the studio adds healthy competition to an already vibrant wellness scene and creates new jobs for local instructors. For New Yorkers who crave balance between hustle and self-care, Australian Pilates is a reminder that world-class wellness can be just a subway stop away. Its opening weekend will feature free trial classes and a neighborhood art showcase, inviting residents to move and mingle together. Coming up, lifeguards demonstrate rip current safety after 3 rescues at Robert Moses. Then the physician-assisted suicide law takes effect. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Lifeguards at Robert Moses State Park staged a rip current safety demonstration Tuesday, following the rescue of 3 swimmers from a sudden riptide the night before. Raphael Brannigan has the full story.
On the sand at Robert Moses State Park, lifeguards gathered this afternoon to walk beachgoers through rip current safety after a nighttime rescue that saved 3 swimmers from a sudden riptide. The team demonstrated how to spot the telltale signs of a rip, churning water, a break in the wave pattern, and showed the proper response. Staying calm, swimming parallel to the shore until out of the current, then heading back to land. Officers also practiced the hand signal technique for alerting nearby swimmers. The demonstration comes just hours after the park's rescue crews pulled 3 people from the water, underscoring the importance of quick recognition and response. Raphael Brannigan, GMNA News, Robert Moses.
New York's medical aid in dying law officially takes effect today, granting physician-assisted suicide to eligible patients statewide after Gov. Kathy Hochul's signature. Priya Raghunathan has the full story.
Effective today, New York's new medical aid in dying statute permits physicians to prescribe life-ending medication to patients who meet strict eligibility criteria. The law, signed by Governor Kathy Hochul in February, went into force on August 5, 2026, after a year-long implementation period. Under the bill, patients must be adults with a terminal illness, possess mental capacity to make an informed decision, and obtain approval from 2 independent doctors. A waiting period of at least 15 days between the initial request and the prescription is also required. The legislation adds New York to a growing list of states where assisted dying is legal, offering a regulated pathway for those seeking control over end-of-life care. Priya Raghunathan, GMNA News, New York City.
Thank you, New York City, for joining us tonight. From the historic first chokehold prosecution in the Bronx to the vibrant Swiftie-themed Volunteer Day, your stories keep us moving forward. I'm Vivian Castellanos, and I'll see you back tomorrow for more of the city's pulse.